2023 has been a year that has exposed the vulnerability of those in need of affordable housing in this province. Tent encampments dot many communities, including the city of Halifax, as volunteers and support service workers attempt to help those who can't find any other place to live. Lucas Goltz is a street navigator trying to help the homeless find shelter here in Halifax. Sir, you just came from a special homeless memorial this afternoon. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, the annual homeless memorial was held today at Central Library on Spring Garden. That's a memorial that's held every year to remember a lot of the clients, a lot of the people that have been lost over the last year, but really over the years. And yeah, different people getting up to speak about friends they've lost or clients they've lost, and yeah, it was both a sad event, but it was also just a very healing event, just to come together, as most people there would have been frontline workers or working for different nonprofits who work with the unhoused, the homeless in some capacity, and for us just to come together and to yeah, grieve and remember together. It was a good event.
Yeah, I have to think there were a lot of emotions there. I'm just curious how you are feeling about the work you're doing these days, the need for it, and the impact you're having.
I think when people ask me about my job, I tell them that I both love my job and I hate my job at the same time. I love my job because I work for a great organization, or two organizations, Spring Garden and the Downtown Business Commissions. But my job is just very difficult right now. Obviously, we see the encampments around the street, we see the growing number of homeless, and I see that every day. I work with those people every day, and it's just very disheartening and discouraging just to see how just little progress we can really make these days. As far as just impact that my organization is able to make, or our outreach is, yeah, there's definitely progress being made with our clients. Some people being housed, some people getting out of tents and into shelters, which is not really housing, but is a small win on those days we were able to do that. But yeah, I would love for us to say that we have some really big wins with people getting into affordable housing that's being built, and people getting into market rent, but a lot of those things are a long way off, or they're just not attainable for most of my clients right now. So yeah, I have some good moments among hard days.
Sure. I hear you talking about that backlog in the system. You're referring, of course, to the shelters, but they're crowded. There's not enough of them, and so on. But what would you say to some of the general public who might, maybe even under their breath, say that they're looking around the city and they see those encampments you're talking about, and they say, some people just want to live on the street, or where there are fewer rules, and that's a kind of a, I don't know if it's a choice, but it's a preferred to what maybe might else be available to them there. I mean, you probably hear that on the streets. What do you say to people when you hear that?
Yeah, well, I've been doing this line of work for the better part of 20 years. So I've heard that line quite a bit, or some variation of that phrase. I would say to those people that most of the people that I work with do not want to be in a tent. They don't want to be on the streets. Some are there by no bad decision on their part. I have a lot of clients right now who have been rent evicted, who are on disability. They're on income assistance of some sort, and when they were rent evicted, there was no ability for them to find a place to live after that, and so they found themselves in a tent. I also find people who are struggling with their mental health and dealing with psychosis, and they're just not able to make sound decisions because of how poor their mental health is. And so they do not choose to be out in the streets. And then there's a lot of people who are just dealing with the trauma of their past, which is many, many people. And sometimes that leads them down some poor paths of addiction, and that's the way that they deal with their trauma. That's the way they deal with their pain, and I would say them as well. They don't want to be where they are, and they're just stuck in a coping mechanism that's really not helping them move forward. And so, people who often say that or look at the situation right now and think that people want to be there, I would submit that they don't really understand the issues at hand.
And now facing the more cold weather, the difficult weather, what's, as somebody who's trying to help people get shelter, what's the emergency plan for tenters if and when there's big storms that hit this city, this province? Does the city ultimately decide? Is it the province?
Yeah, well, we have multiple options for just increased capacity. Right now, 902 Man Up runs a few shelters that are able to expand when extreme weather protocols are called by the city. We have one out in Sackville with Beacon House. They're able to expand as well. But even when extreme weather comes along and those extra beds are opened up for people, it's still not enough. People are still stuck in their tents. And until recently, they were stuck in really poor tents. They were stuck in tents that had been given to them or they had bought themselves that were spring and summer tents that really offers very little barrier to the elements. More recently, we've been able to both different volunteers who are down at Grand Parade and people like myself who've been able to buy some more winter tents, like the red ice huts that people probably have seen in the media or seen as they drive through the downtown core. Those tents are much better at helping people to stay warm through the winter, but those two are not preferable for people being inside, out of the elements, in improper housing.
And just quickly before I let you go, what do you think of the idea of putting the tents in some sort of an enclosed area to help better protect people from the elements?
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that would be a great next step before hopefully our leaders come together to create or find some more affordable options for people so they can be properly housed. But yeah, for some of these tents to be put into a larger building so they can be completely out of the elements and receiving some wraparound services so they can not just survive through the next winter season, but hopefully make significant steps forward in their progress. That'd be excellent. Yes.
All right, Lucas Goltz, thank you for your time and thank you for the work you do.
Thanks for having me.